Hello everyone, I am Asha Biz. Today I welcome you all in class 8, second chapter of geography, land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. Dear students, before moving to the second part of this chapter, let's have a quick revision of the first part we discussed. In the first part, we just discussed about the first natural resource, that is the land. We discussed about the natural resources. We discussed the factors, the physical factors which are responsible for the use of land. Human factors also we discussed. Then we also studied about the classification of land on the basis of the ownership, like it is a private land or the community land. We also discussed conservation of land resources, that how we can keep the land resources safe. Today in this part, we'll study about the second natural resource, that is the soil. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. Soil is closely linked to land. Landforms determine the type of soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks found on the earth. The right mix of minerals and organic matter make the soil fertile. Now soil is a, you can say, a grainy layer that covers the earth. This resource is associated with the resource land. Okay, it is associated with land that we discussed in the previous video. Different landforms will have different types of soil. Soil is made up of the decay of plant and animal. The process of weathering and many more are also helpful in creating soil. If we talk about the quality of a soil, then we can say that a soil becomes fertile when it is rich in minerals and the ability to grow crops. Weathering is decay of rocks, okay, due to the temperature change. Due to the temperature change, when the rocks decay, that also creates soil. Now just look at this picture. Using this diagram, we can say that at the bottom or at the start age, we have the parent rock. If we see the structure of soil, first we have the parent rock, and this parent rock decides about the color, texture of the soil. Then comes the weathered rock material, how the soil is created. Then the subsoil with sand, silt and clay. And at the top, the important soil which is used for cultivation and growing crops, that is the topmost soil, which contains humus and vegetation. Moving forward, the factors of soil formation, how the soil is formed. There are many factors which are responsible for the formation of soil, and among these major factors, let's discuss them one by one. Nature of the parent rock. First comes the nature of the parent rock. What kind of nature the parent rock is having. Now, what kind of parent rock is there in a soil? Like, by breaking off which type of rock the soil is created. Nature decides that the texture as well as color of the soil. Suppose two rocks of red color or the black color rocks will break into pieces, then what will happen? They will create red or black soil. Okay. Now this is the way through which the soil is created. Then comes the climate factor. Climatic factor also, they are responsible for the soil formation. How much time the soil is taking to be formed? What kind of climatic condition are there which are helping in formation of soil? Whether the soil will be formed in a faster way or it takes time to be created. This all decided by the climatic factors. Then the other factors comes like the topography. In topography, the structure of land, whether it is plain or hills, okay, it decides where the soil will be stored or wash away. Like if we talk about the plain areas, there the soil will be stored properly. But if we take the hill or mountain areas, from there the soil can easily wash away along with the heavy flow of water. So if we compare the soil we found in plains will be good in quality, or you can say good in quantity. Yes, they will be have more layers, will be having more layers as compared to the soil found in hills or mountains. Then the other factor is the role of organic material. The role of organic material also decides the formation of soil. That the degradation, how the organic matter like the plant or animal decay helps in composing or forming the air soil, as well as makes it more fertile. Then we'll discuss about the time. It determines that for how long the weathering is taking place. Okay, it decides that how much time the soil is taking to be formed. Whether the soil found here is huge in quantity or in less quantity. Now just looking at this flow chart, we can say, we can discuss about the parent rock. First of all, while formation of soil, parent rock comes. It determines the color, texture, chemical properties, mineral content, okay, for the formation of soil. Then comes the relief. Relief includes the altitude, and altitude means for which area, from which area the soil is found. We are discussing about the soil of a particular area. And slope determines accumulation of soil, about the layer of soil, that how much thickness of the soil is found in such places. Flora, fauna and microorganism, the organic matter, the decay of all these things also help in creating soil and affect the rate of humus formation. Then comes the time. It determines that how much time the soil is taking to be formed. Climate includes the temperature, whether the temperature is too hot or too cold. Rainfall influences, okay, due to the heavy rainfall, again the rocks broke down. Due to the temperature change also, the rocks broke down and turns into the soil. Rate of weathering and humus, how much humus is found in a soil. Then comes the degradation of soil, how the quality of soil is degrading day by day. Soil erosion and depletion are the major threats of soil as a resource. Factors which lead to the soil degradation are: first is the deforestation. Okay, like as we all know that the top soil is the most fertile soil, but due to some reasons like the natural disasters or heavy rainfall or something else, the good quality soil washes away along with the heavy flow of water from one place to another. Okay, this is a kind of degradation of soil. Deforestation, when people start cutting plants and trees, or they start just clearing the forest land for their own purposes, then also the soil starts degrading. As we all know that plants hold through their roots, they hold the soil around them very firmly so that the soil cannot washes away. Okay, due to deforestation, the soil washes away from one place to another. Overgrazing is also a reason. The people, those who keep animals as pets, they take their animals for grazing in the land areas where sometimes it just creates degradation in soil. Overuse of chemical fertilizers for better crop production, people sometimes they use chemical fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, though due to that they they come with a good production of crop, but later ultimately it creates destruction in the soil. Rainwash, heavy rainfall is a reason for degradation of soil. Landslide is also there, as well as flood. Now let's talk about soil conservation, how we can conserve the soil, how we can keep the soil safe. In this process, the first method comes mulching. Now mulching is a process in which while planting trees in a row, we spare some space between two rows. We plant the trees in two rows, and in between that we spare some space. And that space people use to keep some kind of straws in that, so that the moisture of the land or the soil can be maintained. This is called mulching. So basically it helps to control or retain the moisture of the soil. Then comes the contour barriers. Now contour barriers, these barriers are, people create these kind of barriers to stop soil erosion by putting rocks, grass or mud at the edge of the field so that the washing away of soil can be stopped. Now the rock dam and counter barriers are similar to each other. In this, people make rock walls to stop soil at one place. Like in mountains, people do step farming and make walls around their field so that they can stop washing away of soil due to heavy rainfall. Then comes terrace farming. Terrace farming, we all are aware of it. Terraces are developed on the steep slopes so that flat surfaces are available to grow crops, which helps in reducing surface runoff and soil erosion. In terrace farming, it is a type of farming in which people make steps in mountains. Okay, it also helps in conserving the soil as the soil do not washes away with heavy water. Then comes intercropping. Intercropping is a very good method of conserving soil. In intercropping method, what people do in this, it means that two crops are grown together. Here in a particular field, two crops are grown together but in different rows. Okay, but in different rows. People do this because when you grow one crop only in a particular field, that crop will be ready at a particular time. Okay, and due to that the land will remain bare for a long period of time. After that, the soil will become loose. Due to that, what will happen, because there is no plant on this land, so the soil of that land will become loose and will easily wash away from its original place. So that is why two types of crops should be grown together to control the soil from washing away. Then comes the yes, we have discussed the intercropping. Now counter plowing. Counter plowing is a type of method which we can use to stop or conserve water. Farmers will make barriers on the edge of their field so that the soil remains at their own place. While plowing the field, people, what they do, they will plow parallel to the you can say contour plow. We are talking about the contour plowing. Here they are, what they will do, they will plow in a way so that in between those areas the water can be stored. They will create such barriers so that between these field or land areas the water can be stored, and due to that the water will flow down towards the slopes. Okay, towards the slopes the water will flow down easily. Then comes the shelter beds. In the coastal and dry regions, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect soil cover. This is very important, as when the wind flows, when the heavy wind flows, what happens, it also takes away the fertile soil with it. But in between the land, if we'll plant a row of trees, what will happen, they will check the movement of, first of all they will tell us the movement of the wind, and as well as they will become a barrier in the way of the wind, and they will try to stop the flowing away of fertile soil. So this is all about this part of this chapter. Today we discussed the second natural resource, that is soil. We'll discuss some more natural resources in the other videos. Till then, take care. Thank you and have a nice day.